Welcome back to Vikes with a Mic. As always, your host JC here with my co-host and good friend Tyler Williams. And we're coming at you with a special a special Christmas episode. Let's be honest. I mean, we're gonna record after Christmas. So the Vikings gifted us with a W, even though it was ugly. It was kind of one of those presents that you unwrap from maybe like a cousin when you're like 12 years old. You're kind of on that cusp of like maybe you don't even deserve to get the presents because you're getting older, so it's not really a nice gift, and maybe it's something that you already have, or you have a better version of it at home. That's kind of what this felt like. It's like, thanks for the thought, we appreciate it. I mean, I'll take it. I love that you gave me something, but gosh, is it ugly. Your Vikings beat the Chicago Bears in Soldier Field for the third out of the past four times on Monday night, I believe, that we've gone to.
3 in a row at Soldier on prime time, yeah.
Yeah.
On Monday,
17-9 is the final score. Had to keep that one-score streak W alive by letting up a touchdown.
God, that's just typical Vikings right there.
Yeah, absolutely.
That last score, that was,
disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. So, I mean, lots to get into. Obviously, we've been on hiatus for a little while. Last time we recorded was not even last week. It was the Friday before, I believe. So, pretty crazy. It's been a nice little off week and felt like a while without Vikings football. So even though it was a little ugly, it was kind of nice to be cheering for the purple and gold again.
Oh, definitely. Just one thing before we break down the games. I think both of us kind of called this to be a sloppy game. If you recall last time we recorded, I think you had them losing this game. I had them winning, but I think we both said low scoring, sloppy. It would be a bleep show, so.
Well, yeah, low scoring and sloppy is like the definition of this rivalry.
That's Vikings Bears for you, man.
Right? Yeah. It has been for years, at least in Chicago. When they come to Minnesota,
it's always a letdown game.
Right. It's either like a big letdown game for the Vikes or only one team has an offense. Yeah. So I don't know. They're going to need to win out. Vikes are going to need to, and we'll get into that. So, I wouldn't be shocked though if the Bears come into freaking US Bank at the end of the season and beat the Vikes to keep them out of the playoffs this year. It's just
a pattern.
So Vikings. Well, let's get right into it, and we'll break down all the different sides of the ball here, and then we'll get into hopefully a couple of games from around the league with you, Tyler, at the end. Let's jump right into the offense because I want to save the defense. I think we deserve to kind of end on a high note.
Right.
I was really, really happy with them. So let's start with the offense. Kirk Cousins looked atrocious. Yeah, he threw for 2 touchdowns. That's great. He also threw for, even if it was a missed pass interference call, a horrible interception. He didn't break 100 yards, only 87 yards, and completed 50%, 12 of 24 attempts.
That's a Christian Ponder stat line, to say the least.
Christian Ponder stat line. Absolutely it is. And what pisses me off, I think, the most out of this is sure, you see all these people talking about how Adam Thielen is gone and he's like this big security blanket for Kirk Cousins. And I will say that Kirk didn't have much time. He was getting pressured quite often. Akeem Hicks was having his way. Robert Quinn was having his way. Our offensive line was being manhandled. Don't get me wrong. But there were shots that he was missing. There were reads that he was missing. I don't understand how you're not taking advantage of the banged up secondary. I mean, the Bears were missing their entire starting secondary.
Exactly.
And it made them look like it was some elite pass defense in the league. I just overall was really, really unhappy with Kirk Cousins' stat line. However, I will say this. to all the Kirk haters, like he didn't get in the way of a
He didn't lose us this game.
He did not lose us this game. And I mean, he gave us both the touchdowns too, and got us into field goal range. So like, you know, QB stats, I think we've always been a firm believer in that not being a real statistic. But that being said, we might have to stop with this narrative of he can't do anything in a big spot, because he still got in the end zone. He still made some plays when it counted, even though it wasn't a pretty night all over for him. He definitely had a lot more mistakes, I think, than he had notable moments. Those notable moments still ended up being bigger than those mistakes come the final score. So,
I mean, right. And it's just like, obviously everyone saw he didn't play the greatest game, but I don't think he, again, was put in the best spot to succeed. Yes, his offensive line struggled, but Clint Kubiak, why did we wait till third down to like throw the ball past 5 yards?
Yep.
Why is that a thing? Why can't we ever, 1st and 10, bootlegged out to the right, look over the middle for 20 plus yards? Why can that never happen anymore? It's just a screenplay. Every pass on 1st and 2nd down is either a screenplay or some sort of like shovel, like a 2-yard check down. Like, it's just like, why can't we just stretch the field against a depleted secondary on Chicago? You got to know the defense's weaknesses, and that's Chicago's defense, their weakness coming into this game. That just doesn't make sense to me at all.
There was one play that I liked that Clint Kubiak called, and that's it. I mean, everything else I was either hating or like, okay, sure, but I could have guessed that. And the one play that I really liked was the touchdown play to Amir Smith-Marset, where they had JJ line up in the backfield. He made a nice cut inside towards the middle of the field in the end zone, and he took 2 guys with him, because the lineup was something that, you know, like that formation isn't something that we had seen before. And obviously the defense wasn't anticipating it. So they thought, oh, for sure, this ball is going to go to JJ. Ends up leaving ISM all alone in the corner of the end zone. Kirk takes perfect advantage of it and scores the touchdown. That was a great play. And it was a great play. It was a perfect call at the time. Like, that was awesome. But the fact that that is the one time that I can think of where I was like, oh, that was a good call. Like, that actually was a tendency breaker, a real tendency breaker, not running every time on 2nd down.
Yeah.
Just little things like that. I'm really, quite honestly, already done with this stupid Clint Kubiak experiment, whatever you want to. I want Keenan McCardell so bad.
Oh my God.
Offensive coordinator.
I don't know if you noticed this specifically, but we ran a couple like pitches, but every time we ran a pitch, we ran it right up the middle and right into Akeem Hicks every time. We didn't go to the outside. I don't know if you noticed that. We ran, I think, 2 or 3 toss plays like that, and they went right up the middle. And they didn't go to the outside, which didn't make any sense to me. We're running right into the meat of the Bears' defensive line.
And from what I remember, too, I think at least 1 or 2 of those 3 toss plays were to the short side of the field. Like, I specifically remember a 3rd and 2, I want to say, where Dalvin had the entire left side completely open. And instead, the play design is to run right. And he basically just, like you said, runs right into Akeem Hicks. Whereas if he counters there and goes left, he's gone. It was like a 75-yard touchdown. So it's little things. It's just, it doesn't feel, you know, they have those tablets, those Microsoft tablets, the ones that one that Brady threw. And
I was just about to, damn it. Tom loves those.
On the sideline, and it feels like Clint Kubiak is just never freaking looking at those. It feels like he's never talking with Kirk about what they can switch up, how they can take advantage of the defense. I'm sure that they are, but it doesn't feel like it.
It doesn't seem like it. There's the lack of in-game adjustments. They don't make an adjustment to what the defense is doing. We should be able to point that out as fans. Like, it's just ridiculous. Like, they don't make a single adjustment, it seems. Like, the defense will do something, and we'll just stick to the same exact thing we did to start the game. Like,
100%.
It's hilarious.
No, 100%. And so another thing that I want to bring up is this run game, right? Because 28 carries for 89 yards for Dalvin, only averaged just over 3 yards a carry. That's not horrible, don't get me wrong, but no touchdowns. And I mean, like 28 carries, like especially after that he had last week. Like for them to not be able to get him going more with the game plan that they wanted to have, and it was very obvious how much they just wanted him to kind of tote the rock basically last night. Basically what I'm getting at here is when we're coming out of halftime, the ESPN analysts are talking about adjustments and stuff, and I'm blanking on the sideline reporter's name, but basically she pops in and she just says,
Lisa Salters, yeah.
Yes, Lisa Salters, thank you. I spoke with Mike Zimmer and he said,
"Oh, not this. Yeah,
we're throwing too much. We need to run the ball."
Classic.
I wanted to turn the TV off. I genuinely wanted to just stop watching after I heard that. I was so furious when I heard that was what he said. I don't care if he was lying to the media. I
really don't think he was. I think he was serious. Yeah, I think he was dead serious.
Based on how they ran the offense in the second half, he wasn't lying. But like, even if that was like some sort of red herring, I am absolutely disgusted by that mindset. I hate it so much. It is a mindset that he has had forever. And I looked my dad in the eyes after we won this game because somebody brought it up again in the post-game report. And I looked at him and I said, that is why Mike Zimmer will never win the Super Bowl as a head coach. That right there is why. Because he doesn't understand that in the league today, the way that you embarrass a defense and make them feel disgraced and gassed is, you can run on them, but you need to keep establishing what you're good at. And the Bears did not have a secondary. Again, for time. They had no secondary, and you have Justin Jefferson. You have Kirk Cousins. You have starters back on your offensive line. And they didn't practice. They had only a single practice on Saturday for their COVID situation. For you to come out and not be prepared on offense to take advantage of that, for you to allow your offensive coordinator to not call better plays to take advantage of that, for you as a head coach to not be able to understand that is where your strength is going to lie. I don't care that you came out of this game with a W doing what you did. You do this against any other team except the Bears. The Bears bared their way out of a win last night. They gave up so many opportunities to put points on the board, and yet they still found a way on the very last play of the game to get in the end zone when it didn't even matter. I mean, your defense was playing for pride, and they couldn't even stop. The Bears weren't even trying to make the game interesting anymore. They just wanted to get points on the board. Like, that's the least you can do as a defensive guru. Don't you want to keep them out of the end zone? Don't you want to say, we finally beat a team by more than a single score? Like, I'm getting heated. I should calm down.
I don't blame you. Like, I feel kind of the same.
It just pisses me off so much, man. And I hope that even though they won this game, that in the locker room, they are almost treating it like a loss. They have to treat this the rest of the season like you're 0-0 every single week. You have to go in, and now it's like, we're on to the LA Rams. We got to be 1-0 in the LA Rams week. Then you go on to the Packers. We got to be 1-0 in the Packers week. Like, that is how you have to continue to treat this season if you're the Minnesota Vikings.
I can guarantee you that if you play offense exactly like you did in this game, you're going 0-3 in the next 3 games. And I can almost guarantee you that. There's not a chance you win a game you play like
not almost.
This
no, not almost. You can guarantee that. I will
we'll win a game. We'll win one game.
The Bears will come in and they will make better adjustments, even with Matt Nagy as their head coach. They'll come back with their whole secondary. They'll come back with their starting wide receiver that was missing. They'll come back with Khalil Mack. They'll come back with so many players that were missing last night, and they will trounce you, even though you will be in Minnesota. You look at that game, and you really, even the pessimistic Vikings fans, they're like, "Oh, we'll go 2-2. We'll miss the playoffs, but we'll get another win against the Bears." Not if we play like that.
It's not guaranteed. Yeah.
No way. It's fine. It's fine. Just, the point is, if you're looking at this from a team perspective, you get, all that negativity out of the way, right? And you look at the NFL and you look at American football for what it is. It's a team sport. Kirk Cousins did not screw the pooch on prime time and put his team in a position to lose. The defense came up huge. They didn't let up a touchdown in the final 2 minutes of the first half. That was awesome. They were forcing fumbles left and right. Sheldon Richardson, awesome job telling Coach Zim to challenge.
I thought we lost that.
I mean, they were getting the balls, they were getting the turnovers that they needed, they were making the plays that they needed to make. And I mean, they were helped again by like some stupid mistakes by the Bears, but it takes a good team to capitalize on stupid mistakes, to be fair. Like you need to have some good things going for you in your scheme in order to confuse NFL players into making mistakes. So I give nothing but credit to the team in general. And yeah, I mean, that's all I had to say for the offense. We can get into the special teams or defense unless you have more to say.
Oh, I don't know. I was going to refer to defense, but I don't know if you want to get into that yet.
Yeah, let's get into the defense. What do you have to say?
There was a clear plan coming into this game. They contained Justin Fields. They did a really good job, in my opinion, of containing him and keeping him in the pocket. You could just tell these guys were locked in tonight on defense, flying all over the field, causing turnovers. I was really impressed from DJWAM in this game.
3 sacks. Dude's a monster.
And I have to shout out Tevin Jenkins for firing him up like that. Tevin Jenkins taking that after Wanham barely touched Justin Fields. I mean, it was a light push out of bounds, and then Jenkins gets that personal foul. You could tell DJ was fired up after that one, and that got him locked in for the rest of this game. So I got to shout out Tevin Jenkins for that play right there.
That's awesome. I'm so glad you brought that up. Yeah, the Bears were bearing. I mean, like they were.
They just made so many mistakes, man.
They were helping the defense, to be fair, but like I said, I think the defense was capitalizing.
Shout out Matt Nagy as well, losing his mind on the sidelines.
Oh my god, that personal foul, dude! I thought Matt Nagy was going to get ejected.
Oh yeah, same. Seriously.
Yeah, no doubt in my mind. Like especially with that having been the start of the game, like I was like, oh my god, there's no way. With how scrappy these games get, there's absolutely no way he's going to last the entire game.
Yeah.
And after watching that, I'm surprised that Zim hasn't been called for something even worse throughout the season sometimes.
Yeah.
But, speaking of the defense and ejections, Eric Kendricks could not have been ejected for that hit. Now, I want to make this clear. He deserved to be penalized. Absolutely. Right. I mean, even that is like, I'm saying that because I want people to know I'm genuinely not biased that hardcore for the Vikes. Like, I look at that play and, I think that there are some completely neutral parties even that would say, well, why is Justin Fields sliding like a baseball player? Why is he sitting up instead of completely, lying down,
right?
And giving his whole body up. But as far as the NFL is concerned, like, no, you need to be smart. When a quarterback is sliding, they're sliding. That being said, the ejection for that needs to be reviewable. That's where New York needs to be able to come in and say, no, the way that he was sliding there and the obvious intent of Kendricks was to be making a play there on the quarterback, not trying to get him out of the game or something. That's where New York needs to come in and say, yeah, no, he's not ejected. We still made up for it. We still won the game without him. But I mean, that is a major, major loss. Eric Kendricks is arguably one of the best. He is one of the best, arguably top 2 or 3 middle linebackers in the National Football League. So yeah, I had to mention that because the officiating crew in general on both sides was pretty terrible last night.
Yeah. That one play in the fourth quarter, was it Blake Lynch? I think like inside the 5 or like.
Oh, the knee. Yeah.
What was that penalty? I was so confused. He tackled him, but like he didn't hear the whistle or something. Everyone thought like I don't know if the refs blew the whistle. Like Fields thought he was like the play was dead. Like I
Right.
don't get I
So
don't get how that was a penalty on Blake Lynch
from what I understood,
or James Lynch. Sorry, my bad.
no, you're yeah, yeah. From what I understood, like watching it, trying to put myself in his shoes, I just don't think that the refs yet again were like on top of that play because like you
Yeah,
said, like the whistle didn't come from what I remember until after he had already started tackling Fields, even though Fields had taken the knee. Uh, and we have seen plays, where a fan watching it could be like, "Oh, he's down," and then refs say, "No, he wasn't down."
yeah.
And like whatever. Yet again, I guess you have to give the benefit of the doubt to the quarterback, right? Because we have to keep the quarterback safe because that's the league. That's where we're going to get the money. And like
Oh, good
to an
God.
extent, I do totally understand that. But again, like that's a moment where I feel like you need to step in. I saw a tweet, and I wish I knew who had sent it out so I could give him credit. But it was basically like that play gave me the fake slide from that college football game. Like,
Oh yeah, the Kenny Pickett fake slide. I know what you're talking
yes,
about.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I mean they fixed the rule the next week. They said you can't do
Yep.
that; it's illegal. And but I mean, like it gave me that same vibe of like, nah, dude, nah, you can't just no, no, not at least not when the refs are on top of the play, like
Yeah.
immediately whistling it down and understanding what's going on too. Like, yeah, you can give yourself up, but normally what guys do is instead of taking a knee, they like go into a ball, right? I mean, like
Yep.
that's what I've seen every single time there's a botch snap. A quarterback will just fall to the ground and wait to get touched. Like, dude, if you don't put yourself in a stupid position, James Lynch isn't going to freaking tackle you like you're still in play. He's not going to make a play on the ball.
Yeah. In the end, it just did not make sense to me. You could tell Zim was pissed. I mean, that was
As he should have been. As
he should have been. I mean, that was I don't know. These refs just didn't have control. I felt like this entire game. They didn't know what was going on at times. It just seemed like I don't know.
No, I absolutely fully agree with you. Yeah, man, so I mean those are like the two big NFL officiating things that happen on defense. As far as shout outs, you already hit on DJ Wonham. I was really impressed with Patrick Pearson. I think
Yep.
he was
Yeah.
playing the ball absolutely amazing. Harrison Smith, yet again, doing great things, disguising coverages and blitz packages. I hope, by the way, that news came out today. Patrick Peterson wants to re-sign with the Vikes. I hope that they can get a deal done because I would really love to see Pat Pete mentor some younger guys.
I do too. I just the whole like Zimmer and his future here. I hope that doesn't affect Pat Pete's like decision making, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
Like
definitely.
I don't know because I thought he came here because of Zimmer and that
he did. But I mean, I heard something about how McFadden's quote was that he like loved Minnesota and the fans and the organization.
Yeah, I heard that too.
They were going
yeah.
or whatever. So I don't know. It's possible though. I could definitely see that being a thing where wherever Zim goes, he goes. The front of the defensive line, by the way, looked fantastic. Tomlinson and Pierce were making plays. It's so nice to see those two actually playing next to each other.
But it's barely happened this year.
Yeah, right. We've had it maybe like 2 or 3 times, I think, this season, which is just so sad. But I mean, that's COVID and injuries for you.
Yep.
Everybody goes through it. So they're playing fantastic. Barr looked really good. That play where he like ripped the dude into the end zone.
Through the guy.
That was hilarious to me.
Yep.
Yeah, that killed me. That was too funny. But I love the aggressiveness. Like that's the thing. I kind of think after that Detroit game that this defense has a bit more of a chip on their shoulder. They kind of seem like they really want to change the narrative that they've created for themselves, which is good. I mean, like they're the only ones that can, right? But they've created this narrative of, oh, we're gonna get caught up in a big spot, and then even though we've played well X amount of plays, we're gonna fall apart when it comes up to be like the biggest moment. And yeah, I mean, I think that they're halfway there, but they're also halfway not, giving up that touchdown yet again on the last play of the game. Like that's terrible.
Yeah,
you can't do that.
What were they at? We were playing soft again. It's just like, what were they at, like the 14?
My point is, like, that's your pride on the line. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you don't get. I say you give all out on that play. You don't try to give up a touchdown. Hold them to 3 points. You don't give up a touchdown the entire game. That's a huge statement for your team. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So yeah, I don't. Again, I think they were on like the 14-yard line or something like that, and they just gave Fields a ton of time. He rolled left and threw that ball right by the pylon. It's like, I don't know. I think partially that goes on Zim. It's just like why are we playing soft in so many situations like that? Kind of just bothers me.
It doesn't partially go on Zim. It totally goes on Zim. I mean, like that's what I mean. Like that, they played soft in that Detroit game, and then it's like they do it again. You have this whole game of domination, and then you basically make everybody who didn't watch that game not realize how dominant it was because you give up on the last play, because you don't play your heart out on the last play. So now it looks like it's a 17-9 game when it really truly was a freaking 17-3 game.
Yep.
So just annoying, sad, whatever. It's fine. I'm fine. Greg Joseph, 1 for 1, long of 37. Great, awesome. Lined up for like a 48-yarder, I think, at one point, and then they got a delay game or false start or something like that. So they decided to. Speaking of which, Jordan Berry looked really good. But how about the muff punt recovery? I was really surprised with Chris Boyd looked
Chris
really
Boyd,
good.
baby.
He's been a really solid gunner this whole time, but I was expecting the gunning situation to kind of suffer with Dan Chisena being out. And DD. Yeah, I did not like KJ Osborne returning punts, by the way. I'm so glad to see that DD is back off of COVID protocol today. Get him back there. Keep KJ off.
Right. Yeah, no. We experienced with that last year.
Yeah, no.
Get rid of it.
You're not that guy, pal. You're not that guy.
Keep him just at wide receiver only. We don't want him to see you back there returning punts.
Yeah. Like I said, don't ever want to see it again. Just stop. Stop it. Get some help. I think that's like basically it for the Monday night game. I mean, it wasn't like there's all this anticipation because you play on Thursday and then you go to a Monday game. So, you get that, what is that, like 11 days or something like that of basically a little mini bye. And I think that was super helpful for us. I'm really glad that they didn't play guys like Adam Thielen. I think that even if he was almost ready to go, keeping him and having him get another 6 days of rest to play an LA team that is playing as we're recording this, by the way, on Tuesday night. They're up 3-0 over the Seahawks, by the way. Go Seahawks and go Eagles tonight. I know that sounds nasty, but that's who the Vikings fans should be rooting for.
Right.
I mean, for them to be on a shorter week than us, which is kind of crazy. I mean, like that really worked out.
That really is crazy. Yeah.
The NFL rescheduled their game. Just how much that helps us meeting up with them the day after Christmas on the 26th. It's going to be, I think, really important for Cousins to have Thielen back completely healthy. And hopefully we can just stay away from this COVID outbreak that the NFL is having. We can continue to have guys follow protocols and not get together with family members over Christmas that are going to give them COVID or something. Because how I can just see Kirk Cousins testing positive for COVID come the Rams game, dude. I'm so serious. Like I could absolutely see. And then
Zim making the worst decision of his life, putting someone under center who he should be putting under center.
Who shouldn't be on an active roster.
Who shouldn't even be on the roster, yes. Shouldn't even be signed by an NFL team. Yeah.
Yeah, no. God, no. Nope. show me. I mean, yeah, if that were to happen, show me Kellen Mond. I don't want.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. No, but I would put so much money on him starting Man.
Oh no, he totally would. Absolutely.
Yep.
But yeah, that's what I mean, man. Like I don't know where the Vikes need to make a run here, and it looks like they're almost the team in the NFC that's like a lot of people should be scared of. They're getting healthier at the right time. They're getting on a run now at the right time. They've won 2 of their last 3, and they need to win out in order to, keep their playoff chances alive. And they're also the lowest vaccinated team.
Oh, good God. Yeah. That's not good.
It will be the epitome of Minnesota sports. Like I'm calling it right now, dude. Kirk Cousins is going to test positive come the morning of the 26th. I'm more than willing to bet that.
That's no, I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, well, I'm just talking, just saying words, none of it has to be true. Hopefully, they'll be smart. They've been smart all year. You got to trust them. You have to trust them. Even though you disagree with their decisions, you got to trust them. So, thank you, Minnesota Vikings, for the early Christmas present. Now, that was only half of the gift. I need you to go ahead and go take care of business the day after Christmas, too.
Yep, exactly.
Send us into a happy new year as well against the Rams. So with that being said, unless you have anything else that you want to touch on about the Chicago Vikes game.
No.
Give me your key to the game with the Rams, buddy, and give me your prediction.
Oh, God. It's going to be our offensive line. That's the number one key. Von Miller, I think, will probably be back because I believe he is activated off the COVID list today. So it'll be Von Miller and Aaron Donald on that defensive line. I'm worried. Yeah. I'm very worried, especially if he's lining up in the middle by Garrett Bradbury and Mason Cole. Yeah, that won't be fun. This offensive line has to protect Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins has to be able to handle pressure because he's been terrible under pressure. Well, I mean, it's not an easy thing, but you get what I mean. He needs to just – Kirk's got to dial in, make some throws under pressure because he's going to be – I can guarantee you he's going to be on his butt a lot on Sunday.
Oh, totally.
Yeah, he's got to get the ball to Adam Thielen. Hopefully he'll be back. Justin Jefferson. I need to see more targets out of JJ. And I hope Adam gets a lot of targets as well because he should be back this week. And Clint's got to come prepared. Not the same, because this same conservative stuff is not going to work for this LA Rams defense, arguably the best defense on paper in the league. So it's really not going to work. My predictions on this game, I'm going to go with an L. I'm going to go 31-27. It's going to be close like every Vikings game, but we're just going to fall short. And it's going to come down to Kirk not playing well right now. He's going to miss a couple key throws. He's going to have guys open, but we're going to miss the big chunk plays in this game. I think Justin Jefferson's still going to go off. I think the matchup between him and Jalen Ramsey is going to be super fun to watch. But I think ultimately, I think Justin Jefferson gets the best of him. I think he goes for over 100 in this game. But I still see this team falling short just because the Rams. I think Matthew Stafford wants to stick it to the Vikings badly. He hasn't had a lot of success at US Bank Stadium as he was with Detroit in the past. I think he really wants to stick it to this Viking organization that, I'm not with the Lions anymore. I can win, He wants to prove that he's a winner. So I got the Rams, and it's just because in the end, I think they're too much of a talented team for the Vikings to handle.
I do not hate that at all. I'm tempted to agree with you. Keyword tempted. I think the key to this game is the fact that it's in Minnesota, to be completely honest with you, man. Yeah. It's going to be the day after Christmas. Lots of Minnesota Vikings fans are going to wake up on the 25th with tickets to this game in their stockings or under their tree. Especially after that win last night, I think it's keeping fans, spirits alive, and it's keeping this team spirits alive. We already touched on it. LA is going to have a shorter week than us now because of the NFL's rescheduling of games. Who knows if they get out of tonight healthy? Hopefully they do. You never root for injuries. Right. So I'd love to see the best of the Vikes go up against the best of LA, but you never know. COVID situations could take place too, but that's not the biggest thing, man. I think that this defense is starting to figure things out at the right time. And I think that having the crowd noise behind them at home against a team that has a bit of a shorter week, I think that's going to be the difference in this game. I think that, shocker, it's going to be super close. I think my big thing is, can you shut down Cooper Kupp? Can you make Matt Stafford look like the fool that he has looked like when he comes to US Bank Stadium, kind of like what you touched on? Can this defensive line continue to play at a high level and get to the quarterback? It's too bad we don't have Danielle Hunter out there.
I miss Danielle, man. Yeah,
he loves to sack Matt Stafford. So, yeah, man. I mean, I think that being at home is going to be the difference, but I don't think it's going to be enough of the difference. I'm glad that I roped all of you people into thinking that it's going to be optimistic. This is a freaking Vikings podcast when we're talking about the playoffs. There ain't no optimism here. It's pessimism all the way, baby. The Vikes are going to lose, and they're going to lose by less than 3 points. I'm willing to bet. It's probably going to be something like a safety on Kirk Cousins. Probably looking downfield to get to Justin Jefferson, who's probably wide open and could have been hit like 2 seconds sooner than Kirk even thinks, and he's going to get sacked in the end zone. That'll give by Von Miller, who could have been a Minnesota Viking had they not made the trade. So, yeah, let's go 23-21. LA. Sorry to all those people that wanted me to continue with the optimism train there. But, hey, I picked Chicago on Monday. So do you really want me to keep?
Right. Hey.
I think you want me to keep. I don't know. We'll see. I suppose I should be more of a freaking Vikings fan on this thing. But I mean, hey, we're always rooting for the win. I want them to win.
Obviously.
Don't get me wrong. Guys, we want them to win.
These predictions are really just our best guess and what we know about both these teams coming into the game and matchups. You know what I mean? It's just
having fun too.
Yeah,
let's be honest. As far
as really just throwing something out there, man.
Watch.
Want to spice things up.
Absolutely. With this LA Rams team, though, watch this be like the first time that the Vikings blow somebody out or something like that.
Ooh, I love that.
You hang with the Cardinals, and you should be able to definitely beat the Rams. So, all right, man. Well, with that, I'm gonna hand it over to you. So that's the end of our Vikings coverage. Let's get into a couple games from around the league, huh?
Yes, sir. Let's start it off from this past Thursday's game, probably game of the year, arguably this year. We had the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Los Angeles Rams. Battle at SoFi Stadium for the AFC West title. This game meant a lot. I was very excited to watch it. I missed the fourth quarter, but I ended up seeing highlights. So I was thrilled. I mean, this was just great. It was a great football game. Kansas City, Patrick Mahomes starting off a bit slow, and then him absolutely shredding this defense late in the game. Him targeting Travis Kelce. 10 catches, 191, and 2 scores. I mean, that's phenomenal. How many yards did Tyreek Hill get as well? Tyreek Hill had 148 yards. Yeah. The Chargers defense. Yeah. The Chargers defense could not cover anyone in this game. I'm sorry. Wow. I mean, you are going against Patrick Mahomes. I don't blame you. That's hard. But my logic going into this game was, I mean, if the Vikings can beat the freaking Chargers, then honestly, my bet would have been on the Chiefs, and I wasn't wrong. It was a very good game, though, so I'm happy about it. I like both these teams. I don't really have any hatred towards them, but, this shows that both these teams are good. I mean, the Chargers stuck in this game. They weren't really never out of it. They had the lead for a lot of it, and, Kansas City.
The Chargers looked pretty dang good, actually, the majority of the game.
That's what they had the lead for a lot of the game, and, that's just what Kansas City does right now. They're playing really good football. They've won 7 in a row, and this proves it, man. This proves that they are Super Bowl contenders yet again, even though everyone was trying to write them off early in the year.
Yeah, I'll never let Michael Irvin lived down, sticking a freaking fork in them that week. It was like the last week of October. He said that they were done for the season. It's like, dude, you're insane. You can never say that when Patrick Mahomes is your quarterback.
You really can't. Come on, Irvin, you're better than that. Jesus. Yeah. All right, well, this is a team that we don't usually cover in these games because they're usually not playing in any sort of big game, but we'll go out to Detroit. Why not? Upset of the century. The Motor City Kitties, baby. Second win of the year. This game makes me feel good as a Vikings fan, but it makes me feel bad as somebody who doesn't hate the Cardinals because I want to see the Cardinals get the number 1 seed in the NFC right now. And then losing this game kind of just that doesn't give them much of a chance because Green Bay is winning basically every game right now, and it's frustrating. But the Detroit Lions win 30-12, and they just dominated this game. Arizona could not score. Arizona was getting in the red zone a lot, but they failed. I mean, they couldn't punch it in. Similar problems when we played Detroit this last time. We would get in the red zone a ton, and we just couldn't punch it in. So, you got to give Dan Campbell his props because this Detroit team on paper is easily probably the worst team in the league. And this team, they're fighting. They're fighting. They're 2-11-1, but they've been in a lot of games. They're not the most scrappy team in this league. Yes, they've won 2 games, but, man, there's a lot of games that they should lose by 30, and they're staying in it somehow. So,
Motor City Dan Campbell is going to be somebody that the Vikings are going to hate going up against come year and a half, 2 years from now. That dude is building an insane culture in Detroit, and I'm excited for the Kitties. I mean, they're we always describe them, I think Vikings fans in general, kind of as that little brother, that will never really have a shot. Well, that little brother, he just graduated from middle school. He's looking like he's going to high school here, and give them a couple years in high school, they get a GED, they start going to college, and before you know it, they're raising a family of their own. I mean, they're growing up before our eyes. It's going to be very, very interesting to see what the Detroit Kitties do over there in Michigan. But I like where they're headed. I do. And I don't see how, even as a division opponent, it's unless you're playing them that week, the Kitties are they're so hard to root against.
Right. Yeah.
But it's because they're never in anything.
I mean, yeah. And then just one more thing I just wanted to say, Jared Goff, he looked good. 21-26. He didn't make any big errors. It's kind of what he did against the Vikings. He didn't really lose them the game. So
he won them a game. He won
them the game, but he didn't make any terrible mistake. Well, he usually does. He usually does. But hey, gotta give Detroit props where it's due. Oh God. Let's see. Well, okay. You know what? Let's go to Denver. Cincinnati Bengals, big win this week. But prayers up to Teddy Bridgewater. That injury. The guy can't catch a break, and I feel so terrible for him because he's such a good dude, such a humble guy. All Vikings Nation loves this dude, and you never want to see him hurt. That's just, you don't want to see anyone hurt, but Teddy Bridgewater, he doesn't deserve this. It's just, you want to see him succeed in Denver, and I don't know. I just feel so horrible for him because he can never catch a break. Yeah. Prayers up to him, man.
Yeah. Teddy was somebody who I think Vikings fans fell in love with the moment that he was drafted.
Right.
I know I still have my Teddy Bridgewater jersey. I
got my poster still up back here right now as we speak.
There you go. Right. I think I actually kept my poster too. And I'll still wear it sometimes too when I know that he's playing or
right.
Anywhere he goes, he makes that team easier to root for. I hate to say it, but I even found myself every once in a while rooting for the Saints when he was playing for them, which is absolutely insane. Teddy, you are the man. All of Minnesota loves you. We're praying that everything is okay and that it's just maybe a minor concussion.
Right.
Hopefully not even. But yeah, what a scary sight, man. That's the worst part of football by far. It's the worst part of football.
Exactly. Just terrible. But just like back to the game, just a quick recap. The Cincinnati Bengals win a scrappy one. First place in the AFC North, baby. Let's go. Houday Nation, baby. You know who the number one quarterback on PFF is right now, by chance? Do you know who that is? Who's the number one ranked quarterback?
I hope you're gonna like show the jersey or something like
Oh, I don't have it. I have the Dalvin Cook jersey on. I have Akeem Hicks' dad on the
Okay.
right now.
Is it the cigar smoking king?
It
is
is.
it the LSU legend?
Yes, sir. The 2019 national champion, baby. Yes, sir.
On the board for the Minnesota Vikings.
Yep.
This man couldn't be a native Ohioan, could he?
Yeah, it's Joe Burrow, man.
Joey Burrow? My boy, Joey Burrow? Friend of the show? Joey Burrow?
Yes, sir.
That's unfortunate. I wish it was Kyler Murray, but no, I'm just kidding.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
The way your face just dropped.
No, you don't.
No, man, that's awesome for Joey Burrow. And I'm not shocked. I mean, the kid has been balling out. I mean, his wide receiver core is something that I've been excited for since they submitted the pick.
Right.
In the first round to get his old buddy from college back there, get those guys going yet again. I mean, I can't. Well, you know how we both feel about the Bengals. It's awesome to see them succeed.
First AFC North right now. Have 3 tough games left. Hopefully they can finish it off and get the AFC North title. Not saying they're going to get it done, but I'm hoping that they will. I'm really hoping. That's the team who I'm cheering for in that division. And then the last game, God, not this game. The last game I want to talk about this week, and I think you know where I'm going here. Out to Baltimore. Tyler Huntley almost pulled out a miracle. Tyler freaking Huntley almost did it.
I actually, you know what? I'm not going to jump in. I'll let you go where you need to go, and I'll say my piece when you're done.
I don't. The Green Bay Packers getting lucky again. Yes, Packer fans, you got lucky. What was that holding pass interference call late in the game? What is that roughing the passer on Aaron Rodgers? Apparently you can't push somebody now. You should see this one reply I got on Twitter. I'll read it to you after we're done with this, but it's just so bad. Yes, Green Bay won the game. Yes, Aaron Rodgers is playing insane right now. I can't deny that. He's going crazy. He's basically playing MVP football yet again.
Yeah, it's almost like that toe injury is like way too.
The toe injury.
And can we just stop talking about it, because it's obviously not actually interfering with his playing. So just shut up, or I'm gonna lose my freaking mind.
That's Joe Buck for you. Another Packer game they do.
No, it's everybody, bro. It's national media in general. They just cannot let this stupid toe go, man. It's stupid.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Who cares? I don't know. They almost pulled this miracle out. John Harbaugh, I do like you going for 2. I like the aggressiveness. Yet you have a backup quarterback in the game. You're probably not going to win in overtime. Let's be honest. It's Aaron Rodgers versus Tyler Huntley. Go for the win here. But what is that play call by Greg Roman in the end of the game? What is that? Why are you rolling out right like that and then trying to force the ball between 2 guys? I mean, yes, you had Marquise Brown over the middle, but Tyler Huntley's not going to make that throw. That's just not a play that, I don't know. I'm not a fan.
Sorry, I don't want to. Are you?
No.
If I say a little something?
I'm disgusted. I have no words. I'm disgusted because this is the game that the Ravens should have pulled out. They just didn't,
I'm really happy that you said what you said, though. I also absolutely love the idea of going for 2, not taking in an overtime. Don't even give Rodgers the chance of winning that coin toss and driving down and scoring on you. I mean, you guys dominated a majority of that game. You dominated them against refs that were obviously in favor of the away team. And you did it with a guy who hasn't started many games. Actually, that was his second start ever.
Yeah, and it was against the only team he beat was the Bears, which is kind of funny, actually.
Right, exactly. So I love the call to go for it. I don't love the play call, like you said.
Right.
And you know what? They still almost at least he got the throw off.
Right.
And theoretically, if Andrews has just shifted over a few inches, but how many different plays in the NFL could we go back and say, well, if this guy was only shifted over a few inches?
It's happened a lot of times with Green Bay specifically. AJ Green. Cough.
Yeah, right. But you also bring up the Hollywood Brown thing, and that's the thing. Like if you watch the little film thing where they put the numbers and they have it run the routes and stuff. It's not the actual game footage, but it's kind of like a layout of how the play works. You can see that, yeah, Hollywood Brown has a bunch of time open, but what that view doesn't show you is if you go back and watch the play, in order for Huntley to make that throw to Hollywood Brown, not only is he rolling right, which means he has to throw across his body. It's like the number one rule for quarterbacks, never throw across your body. But then he's got to throw into the middle of that end zone where there's two Green Bay Packer linebackers lurking. Right. So he would have to throw a touch pass with enough zip to make sure it gets to the right spot so that Hollywood doesn't run by it. And you don't have to do all of that while he's rolling to the right and throwing across his body. When that is your best second chance at getting a 2-point conversion and you're running to the short side of the field, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing? I should have. Oh my God, I can't believe I just thought of this. I should have freaking tweeted out right away. Did the Vikings trade Clint Kubiak to the Ravens to be their offensive coordinator for the last play of the game? Because it was that inept of a play call. It really, really pissed me off because I love the aggressiveness of going for the two in that situation. I think that not only did the analytics back that up, but it's he asked his players, he said, what do you want to do here? Do you guys feel confident taking into overtime? Do you want us to just have Mr. Automatic go out there and take us into another 10 minutes of this thing? Or do you want to go out there and me give you a shot to just end this thing? And we might fail, but at least we tried.
All I'm going to say is I think it should have been like a similar thing with what we did in 2019 against New Orleans. I think they should have lined up Mark Andrews on the outside and just ran a fade straight up.
Absolutely.
I think he goes up and catches that ball.
100% agree.
Worst case, he's going to get probably tackled and it's going to be a pass interference in my opinion. I don't know if the Green Bay corners could cover him that day. What did he have, 10 receptions for 2 touchdowns? He had 10 grabs for 136 and 2 scores. No one was covering Mark Andrews. I like that they threw the ball to him, but line him up on the outside and throw a freaking fade, basically like what Kyle Rudolph did in 2019, and man him 100%. Up with a corner. I think that's what should have happened, but it didn't. The Packers win another squeak game. It's just hilarious. It's like.
Yeah, no, it's the third game I think that they've won that has ended up going in their favor, whereas for us, it didn't go in our favor. The Ravens came down to the last play, the Bengals came down to the last play, and then there's another team, was it Pittsburgh maybe? The 3 AFC North teams, that could be it. Basically all of them, no, it can't be Pittsburgh because we lost all 3 of whatever the games were.
Oh, it was the 49ers.
The Niners.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 3 games that the Vikings lose barely, and 3 games that the Packers win barely.
Hilarious.
Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. But that's the 2021 NFC North for you.
Yep.
Oh, gotta love it. Got to love it. Well, is that it? I think
that's it.
That's 4, right? Yeah, wow.
Yep.
I'm surprised that she didn't talk about the Raiders and Daniel Carlson kicking a last-second field.
I would have loved to, but it's that game was just so...
You just didn't want to bring it up. Just didn't want to get me too
happy. Oh, all right.
No, I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding.
I know.
Well, with that, we're going to sign off then, I suppose. Thank you guys so much for listening. As always, feel free to support the podcast in any way, shape, or form. Check out our website, www.vikesandmike.com. All of our previous episodes are archived there. You can listen to those. You never miss an inside joke. Go back and listen to all the times we talk about our friend of the show, Joe Burrow. Right?
Yeah.
Since he's now the best quarterback in football, according to PFF. Make sure you're also subscribed to us on YouTube. You're liking, commenting, subscribing, all that good stuff. And last but not least, happy holiday season to everybody out there. For those that celebrate, Merry Christmas, everybody. Well, we'll be back before New Year's, so I don't have to say that quite yet. But praying and hoping for the second part of our Christmas gift from the Vikings to be a little bit prettier, but same spirit as last night.
We need it, man. We need it to keep the season alive.
Yeah, absolutely. Gotta win out. So thank you all so much again for listening. We will see you next Tuesday, normal schedule. Cannot wait. Until then, Merry Christmas and Skol.